Hi. So I've been following this guy on Facebook, and he follows his dopamine, and that involves doing, um, getting involved in a craft and or a project and seeing it through until you get, ooh, shiny. There's something else to do. Well, right now my dopamine is overwhelmed, and I am got 4 or 5 projects going on. Um, the first one, and I've been working on this for months. I bought myself a scanner last summer, and it's awesome. You put the photos in upside down, it just goes and then pops them up on the computer screen, and then you can put them in. I've been editing them with something called Funky, Be Funky. And what I'm doing, I'll show you a picture of my Grandma Marion, my mom's mom, and I've been adding the labels, the words, up on top of the pictures. I've also, when I get distracted, I made a meme because the scanner told me error code bummer, and I just laughed and laughed and laughed. These are the folders that I'm working on right now, and let's see if I can show you this part. These are the folders that I finished, that are completely done. Everything's in there, and there's no need to edit anything anymore. So, like, one of the cooler things I did was I took some of my older jewelry that I've inherited, and I explained the history behind it. As you can see, I had missionary relatives in the Philippines back in the 50s and 60s, and this is some of the stuff that they sent back and that I inherited. That's an old silver certificate that I've had forever, and my dad always gave us $2 bills. So in my note to my heirs, the silver certificates are worth more than $1. Also, of course, a collection of $2 bills. Share them amongst everyone. So I don't want them to just say, oh, there's money, and take it to the bank. There's some significance behind it. So this was a ring that was my grandfather's, and I absolutely love it, but it's very fragile, so I don't wear it very often. But I want my heirs to know that's the history of that particular piece of jewelry. Okay? So far, so good, right? So I've taken, well, I have 89.12 gigabytes of photographs in this drive. That's a couple, right? And I haven't scanned in this big stack that I have right now. I will show you that stack because I can. This is just a very small stack that I've pulled out of four different books that I thought were worthy enough for me to. That's me and my nephew and my sister, one of my 2 sisters. This is me right after Desert Storm. So anyway, I've got all these pictures, and I want to put them all in a book, and I want to have my story, my dad's story, my mom's story, my grandparents, my great-grandparents. My great-grandma came across the Oregon Trail in a covered wagon in the early 1900s. That's an awesome story. I've got a great grandfather who was in the Civil War and lost his leg. I gave my dad this book in right after my oldest was born, and asked him to answer the questions, like they do. And he didn't do a lot of them, but he did some. And so I'll add all that into the book that I want to do. Okay, so scanning in photos, identifying the photos, putting them, like the right side up, and cropping out stuff that doesn't need to be there. That's all a very long and involved process. I thought it was almost done. I was wrong. I found more pictures, which is awesome. Terrible problem to have, right? Okay, so I also decided that the pants that I bought that I love, they're bell bottoms, and they're, let me show you. They have this vinyl on them. Well, the vinyl falls off and wears off. Oh, sunshine. And I decided that wouldn't it be cool if I put a pattern of beads on there? So when I was at the secondhand store today, I just fell in love with the texture of this. I just love touching it. I'm going to do something simple like this. Initially, I wanted to put a big old peacock and yeah, way too much work. We'll start small and then work our way up. And then while I was at the secondhand store, I bought jeans so I can make my own bell bottoms and teach myself how to do that. And then I can embellish those with more beads. But it's been super cold and I've wanted some leg warmers, and nobody carries leg warmers anymore. So I got this little tiny loom and this big fat fluffy material, and I'm going to make my own leg warmers. And of course I had to get a hoop so that when I put those on the jeans that it's nice and tight. And then I had to get more needles because you can never really have too many needles when you're doing projects like this. Okay, so making my own leg warmers, making my own bell bottoms, embellishing my bell bottoms, doing all the picture scanning, and there's a lot involved in that process. So, yeah, dopamine. It makes you feel good when you do something and you're proud of what you've done, and you've you just it's a feel good thing. And I didn't used to understand all that, but this guy I've been following, Connor, he's awesome. I think, is it Connor? Yeah. He's really awesome, and he's teaching me a lot about me, and he's just this young college student guy. But anyway, that seems to be a bit more concise than the first 3 times I tried to make this video. So follow your dopamine, be happy, and it's cold outside, so wear warm clothes. Okay, peace out.